today I felt led to come on and just talk. Um,
Let's see, where do I begin? I don't know why.
I felt led to talk, but I did pray and I asked God to show me what He wants me to do in this season because I've been trying everything and it seems like the more I try, the harder I fail. So I asked God what to do, and for some reason this thought just popped up in the head just to record a video.
So a little bit about.
About me, my name is Anzia, as I mentioned earlier. I am 33 years old. My name is Anzia. I'm 33 years old, and I'll be turning 34 on the 23rd. And I'm wearing a shirt that represents my business, my wig company, Distinguished Crowns. And we focus on women, busy women, who we are focused on busy women, working women, entrepreneurs who are too busy to take care of their hair needs every morning and are looking for a quick fix. We specialize in quality, glueless, custom-made wigs.
So
Back to the thing, back to why I started. Um, decided to do this video. I asked God, what does He want me to do in this season? And in this season, meaning I'm unemployed. Um, so to give a little bit of a backstory, I don't know where. I guess the Holy Spirit is going to lead me,
but
I'll just say what comes to my heart and what comes to my mind. All right, so a little bit of my backstory. In addition to being a business
owner. Um,
I'm a landlord. I bought my first rental property back in 2019 and got it leased out in 2020. I have a bachelor's degree from Francis Marion University
in psychology.
and a master's degree in marriage and family counseling therapy from
Capella
Capella University.
University. All of that
That
sounds
sounds
good.
good on paper, right? Same, I thought so too. When I made a plan for my life, I never thought that I would be in this situation. Um,
I'm also a divorcee.
I got divorced back in March of this year. And in a couple of days, we're coming up on 2 years of my separation.
Um, these past 2 years
It's
have
been a
been really trying time for me.
um,
I'm currently living.
living with my dad.
Um,
Yeah, I expected it to be, like I said, I have my vision of how I want things to work out. And in that vision, I imagine myself coming to stay for at least 6 months at the most, moving out, getting a house, and
and going from there.
progressing in my career, what have you, to 9 years, passing my licensure exam to become a marriage or family counselor, but that didn't happen that way. So I don't know how far I should go back, but I will start with about a year ago. I take August 2021 as a matter of fact. I lost my job. It wasn't that I quit. It wasn't that I was fired. It was that I had to stop or else I would get reported to the licensure board for
Working
unlicensed.
unlicensed
That was a difficult time in my life, but I was feeling the shift
and feeling it was time for
me to move on. But the way that I like to operate is I like to have something secure before I take my next step. I've been applying for jobs endlessly and nothing was coming up. So, um, life as you would have it, things um, happen on their own. I guess God. I can't say anything happened but God. Because if it me, I'd probably stay there a little bit longer. But we have our plans and God has His plans. So, um, I had to start working and I didn't get a job again until mid-November or towards the end of November. And it had nothing to do with my field.
none of my degrees. It was just
Processing claims for CVS Specialty.
pharmacy.
Something that I didn't know about, but I prayed and asked God because at the time my son was in speech. And I prayed and asked God strive for a job that was flexible, that I didn't have to be on the phones because I have past experience in customer service, and that let's just say that that's not a field. Customer service meaning directly answering phone calls, and let's just say that's just not a field that I have any interest in going back in, but being in these recent circumstances,
I do whatever is
necessary to provide for me and to provide for my children.
but that being said,
I was unemployed for 3 months. During that 3 months, it's like I started losing everything. Okay, the August job was August. My car got repoed. I believe November, towards the beginning of November, and that's another story in itself, another story, another situation. I was kind of glad for the repo, but I was nervous about the effect that it would have on my credit. So I didn't get the car back. I let it go. What else was going on during that time? It seemed like I was losing everything, but if in all honesty, I was losing things
that I didn't.
mind, things I was losing things that I didn't mind letting go of, but I'd prefer to have something in place, but that wasn't God's plan for my life. So when the car got repoed, I was without a car until April of 2022. But my grandma stepped in for me. I was able to share her car with her, and that worked for us for however long it needed to work for us. And I just thank God for her being in place for that. I intended to have a job, didn't get a job until 3 months later. So I struggled and I went through a depression. I don't know if by then I believe I was truly over my divorce, but that's not to say that I didn't have any thoughts dwindling in my mind. So I'm pretty sure I dealt with that. So in a sense, I lost a marriage, my home, because I had to move out. Because I was pretty much placed in a situation, either you or me.
I'm not going nowhere.
So, well, the other part, my ex-husband said he wasn't leaving, so I ended up being forced to leave.
And
long story short, I'm here in the room in my daddy's house. So I lost my marriage, my home, my job, my car. And I can honestly say any of those things, I'm okay with losing. I just wasn't prepared. I mean, marriage, I'm okay. I'm okay now. That was a long struggle, a long journey, but I'm okay. And I just thank God for being where I am. But
here we are.
a year later, and I'm back in the same situation. The last day I worked was July 29th, and the job at CBS,
The job that I said was my
blessing off of the flexibility, me to get my son to speech, I could make my own schedule. I didn't have to be on the phones. It was stressful. As a matter of fact, I found myself getting comfortable sometimes, and it was like God was saying, okay, certain things would happen to where I couldn't work my required amount of hours. While that job was not the highest hourly pay that I ever made, it was the most money that I ever made in a job, but for some reason it just never was enough. It seemed like I would always make just enough money to pay my bills and wouldn't have anything left over. I was doing okay until I had to get another car and car insurance, so that really took a toll on everything. But
get back to where I was. I'm losing my train of thought. I guess I
was just going to stick and tell the story, and I don't know if I'm going to share this online, but in the event that I do, just let me know if you would like for me to elaborate on these stories, and I'd be glad to go into further detail. So, here I am a year later. Like I said, last time I worked was July 29th, and the job that I had was, it turned. It's like, so, you see it all the time. Of course, things change, things adjust, and you have to adjust as things are going on in the company. That I can understand. But the job shifted from being on the phones, from not being on the phones, to to having to make a call with nearly every claim that I got. That was not what I signed for, but I dealt with it and pushed through. But like I said, I got comfortable one time, and God kept sending me subtle reminders like I'd be locked out of the system for whatever reason and couldn't get back in. That day, it was whatever would happen, I would always fall short of my hours. So I was constantly reminded of my purpose and not to get comfortable because I was appreciative. Like, we're always told to learn to appreciate the moments that we are in currently, and that way when we get to our next level, we appreciate that. So I was appreciative in the moment. I was getting comfortable in the moment, but I had to remember, okay, this is not your game plan. This is not where you're supposed to be. So things kept happening. So my phone went out one time, and I was able to get by a month without being on the phone, which kind of motivated me. I got more hours in because I was able to go back to the old way I was used to working. But then but then they found after a month, I don't know why, how, but I was still doing as far as I could and only sent the claim back to the floor if necessary. I did everything I could. As far as I could outside of making the phone calls. It's pretty much the company did not provide computer equipment, and I was like, fine, okay. So I asked my family if I could borrow a laptop. My aunt ended up coming through with an older laptop that she had, and I had a desktop. My desktop didn't work too well with the software. It kept blacking out, and I would always be short the amount of time that I was supposed to work. Like, you would have to choose our hours a week or two in advance, and I would always be short, and they would always write me because my computer would black out, and I constantly have to reboot it over and over and over again. So with that, I finally switched to the laptop. Things were fine, things were good. Wasted juice on it one day. It was out of commission for one day, and I remember that happened before, so I reacted quickly and was able to get it working. Fast forward some time, the computer completely blacked out. I know, right? The computer blacked out, and I wasn't able to get it to work. So I decided to go back and get my old desktop out of storage. It needed a keyboard.
My old keyboard
Had got juice in it with the laptop. The laptop started working back fine. My keyboard worked fine for a while, but then eventually just stopped. Both of them just stopped. Now the computer I don't understand because things were fine. Got it dried out, acted quickly. There was no issues with the computer. It just blacked out. The keyboard didn't work, so I didn't have any money. Like I said, I made just enough money to pay my bills. So I paid my bills, and there was nothing left. So my grandma took me to Goodwill, and we got a keyboard. And I was like, oh, okay, I can work. You know, it would be blacking out throughout the day. Either way, I was like, okay, I'm working. This was a week later. Got the keyboard home. It was a Bluetooth keyboard. Guess what?
the keyboard wouldn't cut.
On. So, and I tried multiple times. I just couldn't get the keyboard to connect. The keyboard, it was a Bluetooth keyboard. It wouldn't even come on. I plugged it in, tried various USB cords, with it to charge it, and it just would not work. So I ended up trashing that. Went a whole nother week. My mama got me a keyboard. And at that point, the job was reaching out like, hi, it's been 2 weeks. We need you to do this training. Oh, where was I? Sorry, I got interrupted by a call from my daughter. Yeah, the computer blacked out. By the time I got the keyboard from my mama, I tried, and for some reason I couldn't get it to connect. But I pretty much come to terms and accepted, okay, it is what it is. Oh yeah, the company, people were reaching out to me from the company and asking me what's going on. We need you to do this training because they would have trainings that we need to do to stay updated. So I told her that my computer had been out for 2 weeks and there's nothing I could do. And I told her that I have an Apple laptop. I had an Apple laptop the whole time. Apple laptop worked just fine. In the job description, the company had said that they don't want us to use apples, they wanted us to use Windows. Why, I don't know. On one of the days that I had issues signing in, I guess because Citrix needed an update on the Windows computer, and some things were going on with that. Another story for another time about me being locked out. Yeah, so another time I downloaded the Citrix software on my Apple laptop, and I talked to the help desk to see if they could help me about the issue. But meanwhile, they can talk you through it, but it's only so much they can do because it's not their equipment. It was my computer. So yeah, it was my personal computer. So they told me then not to use Apple. So she was telling me that it was fine to use Apple, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll use Apple. We have to be connected into an Ethernet cord, and the new Apple computers do not have Ethernet cords, which means that it would have been more money that I would have had to spend. And she also asked me how soon it'd be before I could get a laptop. I'm getting paid once a week.
My checks are pretty much going towards bills, so I don't have any
money to buy a laptop, and I'm not going to buy a laptop when I have one that works perfectly fine. Make it make sense.
Yes, I
needed to work. Yes, I needed a job, but I didn't see myself going out buying another laptop when I have a laptop that works perfectly fine. If you get it, cool. If you don't, to each their own. I just decided that I wasn't going to be spending any more money in this job. I remember when I first started, we even had to order our own headsets. Now, there was some other kind of issue with the computer as the time went on, and the company ended up sending me another one. And they sent me a monitor too, but they just would not send a computer. I tried to tell them about my issues, but the company just is not providing a computer. So I made the decision to go ahead and walk away. So I struggle with anxiety and depression.
And so naturally,
my mind started to wonder, okay, I just got this car, my car got repoed, how am I going to do this? Last year I survived because I had rent, and we had stimulus checks that was coming out once a month. So what am I going to do this time? Y'all, I really struggle. I'm not going to say I'm completely out of the woods. Some days are better than others, but I really struggle and went through one of the darkest phases of my depression because I didn't understand why is this happening to me? Why does this keep happening to me? I've had some interviews. Things seemed like they were going to work in my favor, but they ended up falling through for whatever reason. Some of them I'm kind of upset about, but some of them I'm okay with. I'm still probably getting a call for jobs, and I'm being in consideration for a job right now, but they're slow. Their process is slow.
Everybody
around me is telling me you need to try this, you need to try this, you need to try that, you need to try that. And it's helpful. I mean, somewhat I appreciate it, but I hate the feeling that it's seeming like I'm just sitting around my depression and anxiety. Shortly after my divorce, I started counseling, and I went to my nurse practitioner just to see because it led me through this strain of different feelings. And for the first time, I finally decided that this was back 2 years ago that I needed some assistance. I was trying to do everything I can on my own as a counselor. But sometimes counseling techniques, they work, but it's kind of hard to apply them to yourself and hard to apply them to people who are closely around you, friends, family, which is
why I understand that it's
unethical to counsel people who you are close to.
Because you're too close, you know too much about a person, you have a relationship with the person, and there's certain things you can see some things, but there's certain things that you can't see that are hard to see. So with myself,
I knew I'd done everything, tried everything, and I went to counseling. Was still going to counseling at the time, but I needed some real assistance. So I went to the doctor's office, and the nurse practitioner prescribed me with depression medicine and something for my anxiety that I don't have to take as often.
So I was taking
medicine.
Yeah, and still trying
to push through. Here I am, August, September,
in my third month.
Still waiting for a job. Thank God for family members with businesses. So I've been finding some things to do to make ends meet.
In addition to my rental property, and that's how
I've been surviving. It's been a struggle. Yeah, I went back into the food industry. I've not worked in a restaurant since I was pregnant with my daughter, and she's 12 years old.
when I was pregnant with her, I worked at the University of South Carolina,
For Chick-fil-A,
and then I worked as a cashier for a while. And
over the past month or so, I've had the opportunity to work at my uncle's restaurant.
yeah, it's something
That I never saw happen. Most people might apply and might say, oh, you need to get a desk job, or you should get a job and use your degrees or whatever.
but it's not. I'm applying
For everything, and those jobs just are not working for me right now. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's next for me. All I can do is just pray. I try to keep myself motivated, and I try to keep going because
as if I wallow around,
too much.
it'll get to me, and it's really not easy. It's not easy, but it's
Something that I've learned to take one day at a time.
I hate to cry on camera. Yeah, and business
Not going
as I would want it to go. Just can't find the job that I want, let alone
a job that I don't want.
I can't take the licensure test. The licensure test, one is $365 and one is $230, and I just don't have that money right now. And if I didn't have it when I was working a job and all I could
Do was pay bills.
there's just no way that I could pay it right now that a miracle happened.
So
I'm just taking life one day at a time. I really don't
know how to coach somebody to do this. I just try to keep myself motivated.
get it by gratitude and affirmations. I listen to sermons, but sometimes I just get
Frustrated with it all and just ask myself why. I mean, what's the point of it? It's not working. I'm trying everything. The harder I try, the harder I fail. I mean, the more it seems like I fail, and it just nothing going my way. So why I keep doing it? So
at this point, I really don't know what to do but to pray and keep going and doing the best that I can. It's really a difficult time in my life, and yeah, it's hard. Had to have things that I need and not necessarily know where my
next dollar's coming from, or if I'll be able to get it.
This past summer, it's not
Like I'm tending to be somebody who has a lot of clothes and a lot of shoes. I've donated a lot of things. I had to donate a lot of things, and there's some clothes pieces. I was thinking, okay, well, I'm gonna just live
in a moment right now, and I'll be able
to get it back. Fast forward till summertime, and I couldn't buy clothes. The
most recent times that I was able to
buy anything for myself was when I had a job interview, and
for my friend's birthday dinner.
even then,
And it was out of my last
work check,
and the money probably should have
went somewhere. But I just had to do something for myself, something that felt good for me, because
because I haven't been able to.
do that for a while. And those who know me, they know I love clothes. They know I love shoes. No, I was never the type of person to break the bank. I'm always the kind that always finds the good deals for what I want. But yeah, and it seems like I'm just crying about stuff, but no, I just don't know.
Just living and trusting and leaning on God, because I don't.
Know where anything is coming from.
My mama has always.
So been a big help.
My dad, he doesn't charge me any rent, or I don't have to pay any bills to live here, so I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the small things. If nothing else, this journey has taught me to be appreciative of the small things. Like I said,
2 years ago,
when I moved in,
I thought that I would move out into my house and go further into my career, and I was not going to be going backwards, and that's just not my reality.
I looked into Section 8 housing, income-based apartments.
I tried USDA.
USDA, I haven't heard anything back from them. It just seems like everything I want is not meant
to happen right now, and I don't know why people keep saying that the harder it is, that means you're closer to your breakthrough. Well, since my
separation. I've been going through this for 2 years, but it's been going on long before my separation. I always seem
to be a late bloomer. I never get
to accomplish any of the goals I want out of life right
on the time frame that I think they should be, but they always
end up working out.
So, what are my goals? My goals are to take the AMFT,
RB, pass it, apply for a job,
in the field,
be offered a job in the field,
and try for my LPC.
But in order to do that, I need a job with consistent income. I'm thankful for my family. I've done deliveries for my aunt, my mom, and aunts. So when they get parties and stuff, I'll go and help. I'm appreciative of those things. I have food stamps so I can get groceries. So I'm appreciative of the small things.
This is not. Yes, I get my struggle might not be the same as the next person's
struggle, but this is really hard when you
try to set everything in place
to only make you
go forward, and it seems like you
keep taking
steps backwards.
I don't understand it.
I don't get it. I don't know why. I
got my degrees. I started my business.
Something that you asked me 10 years ago,
would I have done that?
It'll be 5 years this year.
But if you asked me 10 years ago, could I see myself starting a business or getting in front of a camera? No, because I was afraid. I'm afraid
to talk to people, but getting in front of the camera to talk about my business and share my business, I always worried about what people had to say about me. So that in the world itself is a big
thing. And I bought my first property.
My first property was never intended for me to
live on. And you might ask, why don't
I live there? It's because it's right next door
to my ex-husband. Who wants to live next door to their ex?
Not me.
That's just the most awkward situation, and I'd just rather not. Yes, you do what you have to do, but some things are just absolutely unnecessary. I want him to have his privacy, and I want to have my privacy, and how we're going to keep moving forward if we have that constant reminder of what is and what used to be. So I guess this is all I have to say today.